soon be getting more insight into what was happening behind the scenes at Twitter when it decided to censor the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop. The new boss there, Elon Musk, now signaling that he may release more information on how and why the company tried to shut down the story back in 2020. One Twitter user posted this: "Raise your hand if you think Elon Musk should make public all internal discussions about the decision to censor the New York Post story on Hunter Biden's laptop before the 2020 election in the interest of transparency." Steve Ducey's hand is raised. Mine is raised. Apparently Elon Musk raised his hand as well, responding with this: "This is necessary to restore public trust." Kat, we know that there was an admission from Jack Dorsey that the story shouldn't have been censored. I was White House press secretary at the time, posted the story on my personal account. I was banned. The third largest newspaper in the country banned. I've been saying for a long time, I hope he releases this information. I'm so thrilled to see this.
Same. My hand is raised. Also, when people talk about disinformation, misinformation, there's so many examples to point to, including this one where we don't really know what that is, because this was misinformation, this was disinformation, and it was completely true. So when you say you want to fight against misinformation, disinformation, all you're really saying is that you want the government to be able to sanction certain information and say that certain information is not sanctioned, which is the opposite of what should be happening in a country where we have free speech. Yeah. Government is made of fallible humans, even if there was no political bias, when there clearly is political bias when it comes to an example like this.
Oh, for sure. And I love, Jim Jordan, speaking of government, he wants to get to the bottom of why there was that letter that went out from 50 intel agents and why the FBI contacted Facebook about censoring misinformation. Kara, listen to this. This is Mark Zuckerberg on the government contacting him.
There was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well? The
FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. There was we thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant.
And then they censored the Hunter Biden story, or at least stopped the circulation to some degree.
Yeah, so I used to work at Facebook, and we called things like this. Yeah, sorry, I'm done now. My mom was like, get out of there, and I did, so thank you, Mom. But bottom line, there's a trend here, and that is the collusion of the government and big tech companies. And we're seeing this happen more and more and more. And to begin with, big tech companies, one of their hallmarks is a lack of transparency. So we would always sort of let the public see what we wanted them to see. We would say, oh, we're dispensing these quarterly transparency reports, but they would contain information that we wanted you guys to see, and we'd hide behind that proprietary information, that black box, and effectively say these vague community standards in terms of service can let us do whatever we want, and that includes misinformation and disinformation purging that is really just what the left doesn't like.
And it's advocacy too. Dr. Sapphire, I'll never forget when Stacey Abrams made that asinine comment about a baby not having a heartbeat at 6 weeks, and then Twitter, they're supposed to have this agnostic description about why a name is trending, just very neutral. Instead, they engaged in advocacy and said doctors agree one doesn't exist during the stage of pregnancy. Reports from NBC and NPR confirm. This is before Elon took over, but my point is this is broader than Hunter Biden. It's issue by issue. We've seen this kind of advocacy and bias.
Well, undoubtedly, and thankfully, we were here together on this couch when Stacey Abrams said that, and we were quickly able to debunk what she said. All that she did was, and Twitter and everything else that said, well, doctors confirm it, all they did was manipulate the definition that they were using for what a heartbeat is. I happen to be one of those physicians that reads the ultrasounds of these fetuses, and I can tell you unequivocally, I do see the flutter of the heart by 6 weeks. It just is what it is. People can even hear it at this point with some of the technology. But we're talking about, as you said, a much broader issue, and you have right-wingers and GOP have stated over and over again that they are being more heavily censored on social media than others, and people say that's not true, they're conspiracy theorists. Well, guess what? Yale and MIT actually did an independent review, and they showed that about 7% of Democrat accounts have been censored and suspended over the last year, but how many Republicans? 36%. I mean, when you have these independent reviews, it doesn't lie. And so just because it doesn't fall in line with the liberal talking points doesn't mean it's untrue.
That makes sense. You know, Jonathan Turley had a great piece out back to Hunter Biden, and he pointed out that there was a statement from the Associated Press at this stage of the scandal, which is breathtaking. It was this: Joe Biden said he's never spoken to his son about his foreign business dealings, and nothing the Republicans have put forward suggests otherwise, except we have audio, so we'll play that, and then Steve, you can respond.
Okay.
Hey, Palace Dad, it's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, that's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
The article, of course, was about the business dealings.
Right. And famously, it was that darn White House reporter Peter Doocy who asked then candidate Joe Biden at the Iowa State Fair. He said, "Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?" And then the future president kind of yelled at Peter and said, "No, I haven't." Asked the right questions. Nobody knows exactly what that meant. But going back to what has happened since then, remember, let's go back 6 years. To 2016. And after Donald Trump was elected president, the social media companies, you were probably at Facebook then, they all got together. They did an autopsy. What happened? We let him win. We can never do that again. And so they unified. Exactly. They were a united front. Yep. Well, now that Elon Musk has bought Twitter, he's blowing that up because suddenly you got somebody on the inside who can, he can say, hey, he can call somebody and say, bring me the paper trail. I want to see what happened. And so it will be interesting to see, was there coordination between the Joe Biden campaign and these big social media companies? And if Elon Musk goes on television to reveal the truth, as Dave, the stage manager, just said, that will be must-see TV.
We already saw DOJ and Facebook did it, so shocking.
Well,
already happened.
Between Elon Musk at Twitter and Jim Jordan at Oversight Committee, I am confident we will get some answers, and we deserve them.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.